Hello, welcome. My name is Joseph Richard, and this is
Stephanie.
Today this is You'll Be Heard Police Brutality Special Edition, and it's essentially what happened to me and my children. And this is my current landlord, and she's here to be the interviewer. So I hope you enjoy, and thank you for your time and watching. Let's see. 0 views. So let's see. Alright, cool. Stats, the viewers, and then the chat, and then the message. Okay, cool. Alright, so, alright. So, just a little bit about me. I'm 35 years old, and I want to run for President of the United States for you in 2028. And what I want to do is move us from this mob-ran democracy, republic, whatever you want to lie to yourself about. And essentially, I want to make it into a direct democracy where we get rid of the politicians who accept bribes. And essentially, we move into a smaller government where their only job is to ensure that everything runs smoothly. No one's, committing fraud, trying to siphon money, just stuff like that. Guard dogs. And then the rest will be ran by we the people. So regular people will have all the power, all the responsibility, all the authority as it was meant to be. And that's what I provide to you, is transparency, and I provide efficiency in everything that you could ever want. You can ask me any questions at any time, and right here I'll answer anything you like. Okay? I care about you. I love you all. I just want to make sure that, the chaos stops and you have a beautiful life. And I'm going to do that with having a direct democracy like Switzerland. And if you want to look that up, you can look it up to understand the intricates. But this is just to be vague today and more talk about the police brutality. But first we will discuss the committees, how they'll work, and so forth, give you a little understanding so you understand what happens moving forward. Do you have any questions, or do you want me to just do a bit?
We'll just jump into it, and I'll ask you questions as you
think of it?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. So basically what's going to happen is I want to take these podcasts, and at the end of it, I want to compile. Oh, sorry, I should talk to you. I'm sorry. That's my autism. I'm sorry, folks. This is my first time, so I apologize. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
So basically, what's going to happen is what I want is committees.
Okay.
And say you're a teacher, or you know a teacher. Mm-hmm. You can be like, hey, that's my favorite teacher of all time. So you can put forth their name. And you'll control everything from the hiring process to the firing process. So you understand in the future what's Gucci, and you know that you have the power and there will be no way for you to be abused or taken advantage of, because the entire point of my administration is to make a bulletproof, explosion-proof, any bullshit-proof administration. So going forward, we can create a long legacy for our children.
So with the teacher hiring process, you would basically get all parents or people in the town involved, and who gets selected?
It'd be like a countrywide thing. It'd be like America's Got Talent.
Okay.
So essentially, that's why I said you could put forth names, mm-hmm. and they can put forth their names, and they put forth their names. But we'll have we're not going to do that nonsense of having 20 million people, but we'll, select 5, 10, and you'll figure out the top 3 that you would like.
Okay.
And essentially, you would pick 3 people per role, because about the firing process is same day. Mm-hmm. Everything is about 2028, is about using the technology and our intelligence to dissuade because humanity has always messed itself up. Mm-hmm. We the people have always outnumbered the elites, the people who have abused us. Mm-hmm. So there's no reason why that should be happening, because we have the numbers. So that's why with me as president, I'm not doing anything violent. Everything is meant to be civil and to just make sure that people don't abuse their power. And that's what it's about.
Shooting for a more inclusive society where everyone has a voice, everyone's heard.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I care about you, making sure you have a voice. That's why this podcast is called You'll Be Heard. I'm weird, sorry. And so how that'll work is, let's say healthcare, for instance, right? Because I'm going to take eminent domain and take all of the hospitals away from them. Because they're abusive, horrible people that should, I can't say on TV, but people who like charge you for a dollar item for $500, that's a little too much, you know? There's, profit, and then there's excessive greed. So what I mean by that is about the firing is that you'll have the ability to essentially look at your phone. I know you can't really see because of the glare, but I'll do better next time, I promise. You'll understand why this was done earlier than anticipated. I am at fault, I'm sorry. But you'll see on your phone that you'll go to a committee, right? And you'll go to the healthcare page. And essentially you'll see all the pricing because you'll have control whether you can smoke weed at work, whether you can break times, your rate of pay, everything. You'll have control and transparency. I'm autistic, okay? So when I say things, I mean it literal. So when I say everything, I mean it. So essentially, you'll have control over every single thing that you could think of. And if we don't think of it, the beauty of the committee system is that no matter where you are in the world, if you have a better idea, like say you're in Africa and you have a better surgical team, a better surgical thing, say we have 85% like living, and theirs is at 99. So they would be able to, in Africa, put in their credentials, explain, put everything in that we would need to know, and be like, look, you have 85, this is 99. So they would get money from us for helping us be better. And so it'll incentivize the entire world to work with America because we're all one big family. You're my like long cousin. So we should all treat each other not as strangers, but as like you're my mom or as you're my like aunt, because you're my aunt, not my cousin. Sorry, but you know what I mean.
We're all related somehow.
Some way.
Each other well.
And by the way, racist. I have some bad news for you. Color is based upon equator. So say your equator here. You live north, you're light-skinned because you're away from the equator. So that's why people in Africa are very dark. So it's about logistics. It's not about power. You have delusions. So just let you know. So anyways, so basically back to the firing. What's going to happen is you'll see in that thing, you'll be able to control the price. So you'll see 1 to 500, right? So you'll see in that what it was, what the average that we chose. Like I'm going with like $20 for a dollar item because the vast amount of doctors that we need to hire, so we're not like England, and all of the things that I'm offering you. Like, bro, so say I believe in pursuit of happiness. So if you're overly large and fluffy and you want liposuction, done. Your teeth are all messed up, done. You need something to make yourself not be like the "Hey you guys" from the Goonies, done. You have the ability and the right to make sure that you are happy. Can you be happy if people think not too good of you? No. So that's what my administration is going to be about, is giving you a voice, giving you power, making you feel loved about yourself and feel good in your own skin without being harassed or dealing with bullies or sexists or racists or whatever delusionalists, So that's what I want to do, is just make it so that peace, order, tranquility exist. And order, especially. Because now I'm not like Stalin or anything like that. I'm like Liu Bei. Google it. The three ninja, they were Chinese back then. I forgot what it's called. It's like whatever. Just look up Liu Bei. Liubei. That's the kind of man I am. He was a benevolent guy to all the peasants and stuff in China, in when the 3 dynasties were. I forget. I have brain damage, by the way, so I apologize. Pepsi has poisoned my brain and other people's. So if you drank an excessive amount of Mountain Dew like I did, you would have brain damage. You would have neurological issues.
From Pepsi?
Yes. And this isn't my word. I'm not. Anything I say is I'm autistic. Okay, so just to give you an example, like I was telling you earlier, we do have the capability to lie, but we are, like, to be honest, it really irritates me when people lie or they're fake or etc. Like it like physically gives me a visceral response. So like I have proof from my lovely ex that I am 99.9% honest the past 10 years. Lex. So basically, back to the firing. So if you see that it's still 100 to 500, you'll be able to at any time cross that off, put in that $20, and if it's still there on the final review, because you're going to see everything is about transparency. So you'll see what it was before, cost and profit, and then you'll see how much we decided it would be, and then how much they decided. Because if everyone's like, oh, I'm going to troll $1, you know, obviously we have to make executive decisions. But we're hoping that people will want their country to be beautiful, pristine, not have crazy stuff, wild stuff happening. So, you know, you help me, I help you, I help you, I help our children, and we have a beautiful world that spins and doesn't act psycho.
So you're looking for basically like an online, almost like grading system for the teachers, kind of like the students. So real-time evaluations back to the teachers in terms of, and that's concurrent with their pay in terms of what the complicated issues that come up.
Everything will be there, and that's why I want teachers to run teacher stuff, because they could be like, okay, well, I spend $2,000 of my own money to get school supplies, right? So in my committees, first off, that sentence wouldn't exist. But they would get paid more money, because it's absurd that we pay a dude $7 million to throw a ball for a year. And I know it gets us a lot of money, but education should be the focal point, because they're the real superstars. You teachers, you guys, the shit that you have to deal with, you have to put up with, the disrespect, people just treating you horribly, crap pay, taking money out of your own pocket, you don't have any say, no creativity. All of that will end.
Teachers are definitely underpaid. I agree with you on that for sure. How do you feel about like school boards that we have today? Like each time has their own school board and elected officials, and
they're a joke. Because if they weren't a joke, right, there wouldn't be a mass shooting every day, almost like popping like vitamins. So basically, what I want to do is, that's what the committees are for. There'll be no more school boards. There'll be no more people who have power that have had power for eons. And what have we to show for it? We have literally Australia, one school shooting. AR's gone.
Can we talk about that for a second? Like, how do you think your committees will help eradicate school shootings where school boards are failing? I like you. Yes. All right. So essentially, what will happen is first we'll have security everywhere. That's even if it's not green and it's like perfect and there's not any drama, whatever, cool. But if there's any like danger zones, like Washington D.C., stuff like that, more inner city type places,
everything will be. They'll have guards that won't run away in danger, and we'll have like veterans. We can give veterans jobs to do that. And see, just to let you know, anything I say is not. It's spaghetti. That's all it is. Nothing else. And that's what it's about. It's just the committees is there so that every question that you have will be answered. And instead of school boards, we'll have committees. We'll have actual teachers that won't be drunk with power. The only question that the committees will be asked is not red tape, not politics, not politically correct, not whatever nonsense. The only question that will be asked is, what is best for our children's legacy? So moving forward, nothing is about my EP or my small thing or anything. It's all about what is best for your child, my child, and Earth, and stuff that matters more than. I want to bring up a point here. The reason for history class, since we're talking about education, the entire point of history is to learn from our mistakes. So there's a Bill of Rights. So I want to have a Bill of History, which will be greater than the Constitution. It will be absolute. It'll be like the 10 crack commandments. It'll be like things that we cannot change unless a majority, like whatever we come up with, everything is subjective. So the beauty of this is that you and I will choose everything together. So it's not about daddy. I'm representative. Your daddy. Your mommy. I'm peasant. I'm just I'm a yes, Pastor. Can I jump? That's what I'm for. Is to be a representative.
Okay.
So I want to have it so that with Bill of History. So I want to have essentially people like AI and scholars come together in America's Got Talent type thing, and for us to all watch as a nation and essentially come up with rules and regulations to ensure that moving forward we don't go back to being greedy, monopoly, hoarding, evil people. So, and that's the entire point of the Bill of History and then the Bill of my entire administration is to secure moving forward. The reason why you can trust me is because I will be explaining like how to defeat me, how to, end anybody. I'm going to have militias everywhere in every state. You'll be trained military style.
Okay.
So there will be no fucking around. So if a politician does some slimy shit, they go to their house. You have the right to remain silent and get the fuck out of your house or we're coming in. And therefore we're going to use citizen arrest because I don't know if you guys know, but politicians are only protected on misdemeanors. So when they do crimes against humanity, like minimum wage at $7 while charging an astronomical amount of money, that's a crime against humanity. So they're not protected for anything above a misdemeanor.
What about like a false reporting where someone said something about a politician that wasn't true? What's the due process there?
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make it so that lying will not be tolerated or possible. Because everything will be fact checked. If you don't have the ability to fact check something, you shouldn't say anything coming out of your mouth. Unless it's your own truth. Like if you're talking about like, hey, I got, raped or something by somebody, you have to speak your truth. But I'm saying like stuff that's trying to just like slander people and stuff like that without any evidence to back it up. Like it's different, if you're trying to personally do something versus someone who, is risking their life to ensure that you have freedom. So, you shouldn't say anything against anybody unless you have evidence.
You sure? Yeah, but some people do. Like, they'll say he said, she said, and they're lying. Like, how would you prevent that?
Back to the Bill of History. Okay. So, one of the things is going to be called blacklisting.
Okay.
Not to be confused with the blacklist, okay? I'm not a murderer, alright? Calm down. So, it'll be a blacklist. So, if you lie, you're going to be on a list, like a no-fly list, but blacklist. And essentially, if you have that, you're going to have your social media and etc. rights taken away. Because if you're a liar, how can we trust you? So the entire premise is of the reason why we're able to get, treated in such a horrible manner is because politicians and humans are allowed to say whatever they want without any repercussions. So I'm about repercussions. Now, I'm not about being Hitler or Stalin or taking away your rights because you called me names or whatever. I don't care about that. I'm talking about if you're speaking facts, like if I did something and you want to say something, power to you. Please, call me a piece of shit. Do what you need to. But if you're going to slander somebody or you're going to say something that you can't back in a public setting, you got to be able to, put some, money where your mouth is. Because it's not fair that you're going to besmirch somebody's good name. over conjecture. Like, that's absurd. So that's what I want to do. Is the Bill of History is the entire purpose is, like, let's say the mask debacle, right? Okay, the mask debacle, I'm going to anger some of you people, and just to let you know, if you get angry, you're a horrible piece of shit of a human being, okay? You'll understand. I'm about to explain. So basically, the reason why I think you're a piece of shit is because, say your grandfather, right? Like I said, we're all related. So imagine your grandfather is going to the supermarket and you didn't wash your hands, you just sneezed and then you touched this. You just murdered your grandfather. You murdered your grandfather. Is that connecting there? So stuff like that, we're going to ensure that people's egos get taken away. So the problem with today is that people have such ineffable amount of hubris that it is like a narcissism. So instead of having us care about our opinions, facts will dictate, because facts don't care about your opinion, okay? With the mask thing, okay, yeah, it's 70%. It doesn't protect you fully. I get that. But would you rather 30% chance kill somebody or 100? So there should be no, I have a right to murder you and your family. No, you don't. That's called murder. We put people in jail for that. So in a society, speaking of COVID, how I would handle it is that I would pay for your Netflix, Hulu, whatever you wanted, your food. You would stay home forcefully and happily, because you'll be able to, if you want to buy yourself a steak, go for it. Buy yourself a steak. Do what you need. It's just 3 weeks. So instead of having COVID for now, 4 years, 3 years, whatever crazy ass amount of time, we would have COVID for 3 weeks. So and I say 3 weeks because scientists say 2 weeks. So if we stay home for that extra little period just to be safe, you get a vacation for 3 weeks. Oh no! And you have all your food paid for, you have everything paid for, your rent, your electricity, or it'll be suspended or whatever have you. See, the beauty of this system is that we will all work together to come together to, essentially work together and put the world back together. And that's what this entire thing is about us attacking all of these, or not attacking, just engaging these problems, these injustices. That's what my goal is to end every injustice known to man. So whether you have a little disease that no one's ever heard of, and there's only 5 of you in the world, whatever it is that you have an issue with, we will put somebody on it. We will make America at 100% worked, or employment. And I'm going to make it so that the people who are on drugs, that have been chose to decide to live on the streets, I'm going to help them with haircuts, getting them into programs to help them reintegrate with society, because I can relate to why they would rather not contribute to our toxic society, and why they just want to do drugs and be obliterated all day. So that's why I want to do the Bill of History, is so that anything that causes, like for instance, to give you an example, in Manchester, right? They literally put spikes in the middle so people couldn't sleep on the bench. So that right there is stuff like that that's just inhumane. Yeah. And the fact that I even said that sentence, that people are homeless sleeping on a bench in the greatest country in the world, that's an oxymoron. So I'm about making it so that these committees, this Bill of History, will give us the order we need to be stable, to care more about, like I'll give you an example. There was this older gentleman, gray hair. He was at 7-Eleven. I asked him, I was like, hey, how you doing? And so he was like, talking to me. So, that's the kind of world that our children are being left with. A world where we're impersonal, where we're on social media, our phone all the time. Instead of the kids in cages, people starving when we have more food, people homeless when we have more empty homes, stuff like that. So I just want to make it so that we have like a civic duty, because I'll give you a perfect example. I had a lady that was not out of her gourd, but like she was just very intense. Because I used to work at Burger King, and I'm a Lyft driver, so I was giving her a ride to Burger King. And so she looked at me because I was telling her I was running for president, and she looked at me and she was like, "You need to teach people civic duty, that they have an obligation to make sure that no one's left behind." So she was like crazy about it, but not crazy. You know what I mean?
She probably felt left behind, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what my entire thing is. See, people who put down people who watch anime, it's silly. You shouldn't be pretentious. You should always critically think, expand your mind, don't be narrow. And what I mean by this is that in Naruto, in anime, it taught me two of the most beautiful things. One, our children's legacy is the real kings and queens of this world. Mm-hmm. Not me. Or I'm not a king or whatever, but I don't want to be a king at all. Don't even call me king, sire. I don't even want to be called president. That's why my name on Spotify is Prezzy J. Because as you can tell, no tie, my shirt. I want to be professional and formal. I don't want to be uptight and... This is Joey right here, okay? And this is Joey. If you don't like it, too bad. So basically... sorry. I'm autistic, so I'm just very honest. I mean no harm whatsoever. I'm not trying to insult you or whatever. I'm just being honest, genuine. That's what I'm about. Back to the Bill of History. So anything that we have talked up on in history, the scholars and the quantum computing will all make a list. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about it step by step by step and figure out how to make a rule that says this. So basically it's to control our negative tendencies. And I know history was written by the winner and everything could be fake. We could literally know nothing about our history. I get that. But the history that has been painted, 92% of it has been vile and disgusting, rape, pillage, murder, not sane, okay? So that's what my purpose is to ensure that no one's left behind and that we're in the 8%. It's not about control, it's not about taking away your rights, it's about ensuring that us as humans don't have, I don't become drunk with power. So other people don't become drunk with power. So people don't accept bribes and care more about bribes than their own 40,000 spent on their one room while people don't have clean water. So stuff like that, And that's the entire purpose of the committees, is to ensure that every single aspect that we have messed up on one way or another is called into question. So to bring more on the education, I'm going to have the first ever national town halls. So how it interacts with that, what I just said, is that anything from AI to COVID to anything that we as a world or country would need to discuss, that would be done on a worldwide, humans, not France's leader, not Emmanuel, regular French people, regular Africans, regular whoever, right? Will all decide whether or not AI is too great a threat, or whether or not the benefits outweigh the possible annihilation. So that way, everything is transparent, you have a right, and you'll be heard. And that's why this is called You'll Be Heard, because I want to make sure that you will be heard no matter what topic it is. You as parents, you as a person, whatever, will all have control over everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to essentially be a phoenix. We're going to die off our old government, and we're going to be reborn as a phoenix, where we focus on eradicating our past mistakes and actually learning from history. And that way we can actually have people who will feel comfortable in their own skins. I've talked a lot, so do you have any questions?
So yeah, actually, committees, we're talking committees, right? So basically, would they be state level or would they be national level? Because right now, states have their own government, their own, their own laws, and there's obviously the federal government oversees things, but like how does that?
Everything would be on a national level, unless it's something like, say if one city has this tradition every year to do something off the wall, off the chain, whatever, and it's their city thing. You'll still have committees on a state level, a city level, and stuff like that. It's just stuff like driving, right? It makes no sense that I have to, like, say if I'm doing a cross country, I have to figure out where I can bring my gun, where I can't bring my gun, like what speed limits are okay, what, like, because like here you can do like 10 and 15 on the highway and stuff, and they say you can't, but 10 years of driving says otherwise. But anyways, the point is that the committees will be there at every level, but stuff that isn't specifically tailored to that specific city or state will just be whoosh, because things should be simple, easy, and understandable. I shouldn't have to do a bunch of homework and figure out all these intricate laws and all these crazy things that I can't do in this one state.
Yeah. So universal laws across states. Okay.
Like just bring make common sense great again.
Now, who runs these committees? Are they elected officials as well? Someone you would appoint? Like what?
Everything is America's Got Talent.
Okay.
You put your name forward instead of having these like you shake hands with babies. This whole system is archaic and it's absurd. It's just a pony show. It's not about how can you be heard? How can I help you? It's all about just being there for being fake and getting your bribes, and it's just about you getting elected next time and you lying through your teeth. And that's why I want it so you'll have to be in front of the world and you'll have to be able to, explain why you think that you're the best. Like for instance, like say I'm a teacher. I'd be like, hey, I'm the best because I'm going to give teachers creativity, pay them a lot more, give them the respect they deserve. I'm going to do this with education, etc., etc. They're going to explain. That's why we're going to like only choose like the best of the best. So you're not like sitting there all day because we have like 100 billion injustices.
So who determines the best of the best?
Yes, we do. It'll be like votes.
Okay.
You'll either call in if you're old, or if you're young, or if you're cool with technology, then you'll just
voter fraud. Do we kind of get better software for this?
Yes, we'll use like NSA encryption and stuff like that.
That's what I'm I know it's a big thing nowadays.
Yes, voter fraud, especially though, we're gonna be like Estonia, where they have no issues and they're all online.
How do they?
You're sitting here talking. We're just chilling. I voted.
Okay. But what if you have two phones? They can't, like, I don't know how that
You
works.
only vote once per person.
Okay.
So it'll be like, you can't multiple, like, I'm sure I don't know, I'm ignorant on Estonia and how they do it and so forth, I'll be honest. But the thing is they're safe, they haven't had any issues, so obviously they have a system in place, and we would take their system and any tweaks, we would make it better. Because my entire purpose of running for president isn't to make America great again, because it's never been great. It's been, making women feel inferior and enslaved, and dark people enslaved, and Irish enslaved. It's all been just like negative. We've never cared about women as a whole and their rights. We just took their rights away again to have babies. Oh, and on abortion, if it's not your body, shut the fuck up, okay? So on that topic, the reason why I have such a shut the fuck attitude is because first off, you're your own autonomous person. Yes, I agree with you people, okay? I agree that we shouldn't have abortions. But if she got raped or she doesn't want it or whatever, would you, like, I have a mother and a father that were never there for me. I have an egg donor and a sperm donor, okay? So I'm grateful for being here, but do you understand how it's mentally fucked me up? I just got into a mental state where I'm not crazy, where I don't have problems, where I don't have abandonment issues, where I can feel comfortable in my own skin. It took me 34 to 35 years because my parents were divorced, didn't love me, didn't love each other, didn't love themselves. So why would you force a child to go through such agony for your crappy opinion? And besides the emotional part, it's the logistics. I made a rap song, and the entire, it's called Time. And the entire purpose of it is that time is an undefeatable thing. There's no way to slow it down, there's no way to go back, at least that we know of. So time is undefeatable. So essentially what I want to do is make it so that we understand that humanity can only last up to 10 billion people on Mother Earth. That's a max. So after 10 billion, that means that Mother Earth won't be able to provide enough food, enough anything, and we won't have enough water, we won't have enough everything, okay? So this isn't about me being mean, rude, toxic, whatever you want to lie to yourself about. It's about me having to bring up things that I don't want to bring up. I don't want to have to bring up the fact that we have to be like China and we have to have like a no child law. Because we're at, like when I was a little kid, we were at 6 billion people. We're now at 8 billion people in 30 years. So in another 30 years, we're going to be at 10 billion people. So when we're at 12 billion people, what's going to happen is society isn't going to have enough food. We're going to have worldwide shortages. And what's going to happen with worldwide shortages? Are people going to be friendly when they're starving and there's limited food and then chaos is going to reign supreme? Because the government's going to protect us? No, they're buying their bunkers. They're getting away from us. They don't want to care or protect us. So if anything happens, they're going to be nice in their little bunkers while we're up here fucking raping, pillaging, trying to have some Mad Max type shit. So that's why I speak like that. It's not to offend you. It's never to offend. It's only to bring up the reality. And the reality is, once we pass that 10 billion threshold...
So you're saying like population control a little bit?
Yes.
Okay. And you brought up the China thing, like limiting how many kids people can have. Is that something you're...
I'm not touching this subject.
Okay.
We will touch this subject together as a town hall, national, worldwide. That's what I was talking about. That's what the town halls are for. Is for stuff that I'm not touching. I'm educating. I'm not, like I said, I'm not daddy. I have my ideas, my plans, my logic. But if my logic, your logic doesn't, okay, then what's going to happen is if you don't want to agree with me, that's great. That's cool. That's what the direct democracy is about. Is about you having the final say. So it doesn't matter what I think. I could think that we should beat up pedos, but that doesn't mean that we're going to do that. Okay? It doesn't matter, and I don't think that. I'm a pacifist. Okay? So I believe that if you can't use the God gift that you were given, the supercomputer, you're feeble. So to beat people up instead of, like, for instance, speaking of pedos, I just want to broach a subject just so we can get it over with and go back to the committees. So my ex of 10 years basically called me a pedo. And this happened after this was like a year. We haven't been together for a year and 3 months. Okay, so I would have told her this at least a year to 2 to 3 years later. Right. So if Gary told you that he was a pedo, would you sit on that for 2 years, 3 years, a year? No. So, and then after that, she has called the police 6 times, 6 times under false pretenses and being vindictive. And I'll get to that later. I'll show you a video of her being Cassie. So I won't really speak much on it because today is about committees bringing you hope, not despair. So today is just about me broaching the subject, and at the end I'll tie it off. But this is about you and about your happiness in the future, not about being vindictive or being Jerry Springer, okay? This is about you, not about me and my woes. So basically, continuing, that was 6 times or 5 times before that she had. So that's 6 ample opportunities she could have said something, right? And then she went to 3 restraining orders. The first one, she didn't even show up. The second, I beat her. The third, I beat her and a professional lawyer, a seasoned lawyer. So what does that tell you? So basically, she had 1, 7, almost 10 times to say something. Okay? Did she say anything? No. So what happened was, I imagine you as a parent, and you walk to the door. You want to see your child, right? And your child, who's autistic, mind you. So us autistic people are very happy. We're very bubbly. We're very genuine. So for him to come to the door and go, brr, 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 brr. Oh, he's nonverbal. Sorry. So he goes, brr, 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 you know, like when we argue and stuff. And I will admit it. I'm a piece of shit father in the sense that. When I'm not using it as an excuse, I'm not justifying it, but I have autism and I have severe trauma response. So occasionally I just get overwhelmed, and I'm not justifying, I'm not excusing. I'm a garbage piece of shit. I should leave our problems away from the children. That is my fault 100%, okay? But outside of that, everything's paid for. They have the whole thing right there of toys. They have clothes, they have everything that they could ever want, okay? And so, back to that. So essentially, after knowing that the only explanation is that she was running her mouth inside when I knocked on the door or beforehand, because why would my son, who for a year and 3 months has come to the door in a jolly state, brr, 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 like we're arguing without arguing. So that tells you that she was poisoning my child. So you don't fuck with my kids, okay? You can abuse me all you want, but you don't mess with my children. That is the only time that I will get violent. If you're trying to kill me, trying to hurt me, trying to hurt my children, stuff that's immediate self-defense, I will kill you. I will do anything to ensure my children and myself don't have bodily harm. But outside of that, I'm literally gentle as a honeybee. I will never hurt you. You can see I get intense. But it's not meant to harm you. It's not meant to make you feel tense. It's just, if I believe in Newton's third law, okay? So every action has an equal but opposite reaction. So if someone is saying vile, horrible things and doing horrible, vile things, my reaction is gonna be angry. Because I'm not a regular politician, okay? I'm not dealing with this, I'm gonna smooze you, I'm gonna kiss your baby, I'm gonna lie to your face. I'm gonna tell you as it is. I don't care if you like it, I really don't. My job is to educate, and my job is to lead by example. So that's why I said the 10 billion thing, and why we need to snip or something, give everyone free vasectomies or whatever, because there's things that we have to do. Alright, so we're gonna block this person. Yeah, our son sees who you are. Hang on, okay. Mute. There you go. She's muted. What the fuck? Alright, well, anyway, she can say what she wants. I'm not going to worry about her. Today is not about you. See, this is exactly what I was worried about. You making it about you and not about the world or anything else. And once I show people the video, anything you say won't matter. So, like I was saying, what was I saying? Sorry.
I was talking about committees, but I don't know.
Right. Alright, so anyways, so I'm not a bad person. I'm just intense because, essentially things have happened that have been extremely horrible, okay? So, back to me being a pedo. So, basically, she had all this ample time, and the only time that she said that was when I went and ordered an ex parte, and I basically blew up her spot, and I said enough was enough, because you mess with me all you want, but you don't mess with my kids, okay? And so I went to the ex parte, and essentially the judge agreed with her and enabled my abuser. I just asked for her to get on meds because she has BPD and PPD, and she refuses to get it fixed. So that affects me and it affects the children. So she can lie all she wants, but the fact of the matter is that why hasn't she gotten her BPD fixed in 5 years? That shows that she's a narcissist and doesn't care about me, her children. Like, why would you as a mother want to snap at your kids? You wouldn't. So the fact is I'm not a pedo. My entire point of the committees is to ensure stuff like that doesn't ever happen again. Like, if I was a pedo, right, why would I want to take away my play area? Why would I want to educate people? And I said this long before she brought anything up, right? So you can ask people, like when I'm famous and stuff, you'll be able to ask people in my Ubers and stuff, and they'll tell you that I wanted to do this, what I'm saying, years ago. So, so why would I want to let's just say I'm a pedo. Why would I want to take away my ability to groom little kids? Why? That doesn't make any sense, okay? So I was, I see you're uncomfortable, so I'm going to just say a little bit more and then move on. So I was raped as a kid, and, so I don't want anybody to ever feel that, okay? Like, it was consensual, and, like, I didn't know better. It was incest, and it was with my family members, and they did it to me. So, like, in my world, what I want to do to prevent that, and what the committee's job is to every question that we can have like that, it will be answered. It will be taken care of, and there won't be any problems, okay? Mm-hmm. So, why would I want to eradicate my area? That's stupid. Okay, so that's enough. We're going to ignore her, and we're going to go back to committees. So, the entire point of the Bill of History is to ensure that moving forward, stuff like that doesn't happen, okay? So, if I was to be this evil person, I guess I had to change a heart, right? Because I'm making it so that children can't get hurt. And that we have, so like yesterday I was talking to somebody about this, and she told me that she told her kids at 3 or 4 years old, good spot, bad spot. Mm-hmm. So if I was told that family shouldn't be bad spotting, mm-hmm. would I have done that? No. So going through vile things that no amount of weed can suppress, okay, makes me not want to harm other human beings. I have severe trauma response. Let's just say that I'm a pathological liar, okay? Let's just say I'm very good at talking, I'm, very smooth, okay? I have my therapist, and I have my son's ABA that would attest that I have severe trauma response. So, can you tell me, viewers, how come she is diagnosed with BPD, no trauma response, but I, the abuser, pedo, has severe trauma response? Where do you get severe trauma response from? Severe trauma, right? So if I was abusive to her, correct, I would have power, right? If I had power, would I have trauma? No, I wouldn't. So having severe trauma tells you that I am the victim here because I have severe trauma. So that's why I am so intense, because I have been violated to the point over and over and over and over that I'm an addict when it comes to sex, okay? I'm a sex addict, all right? But in a year and 3 months, you know what I've done? One woman, that's it. In a year and 3 months, and you know what I've done? I've holed myself up in here, and she can attest, my house has been vile, disgusting, like disheveled, and it's because I am so depressed that I don't even cook. I haven't even, like, you can ask people at Chipotle, at 7-Eleven, I buy myself pizzas once a day. I buy myself Chipotle once a day. I don't even cook for myself. I love cooking. Why would I not cook? Why would I not do something I don't love or that I love? Because I'm so depressed that like I have 2 beautiful kids. What do I have to be depressed about, right? So, you know, I have nice computers. I have nice things. Shouldn't I be in a happy state? Shouldn't I be, you know, have this all nice and good to go? Before today, this house was disgusting, okay? It wasn't looking all like this, okay? I was depressed, right? So why am I depressed if I have so much power and abuse? You don't gotta go off my words. You gotta go off of my actions, you know, what I'm diagnosed with. So, am I holding this lady hostage? Yeah, definitely. Diagnosed twice with narcissistic. Yes, she is right. I used to be narcissistic. If I was narcissistic, I wouldn't say I'm narcissistic. But anyways, delusions of grandeur. We're here showing exactly step by step how it would work. Do you even listen to yourself before you type? The last thing I'll say, okay? So the point is that like we're not gonna talk, okay, anymore. I don't care what she says. Like it's enough. So with the committees, is there any questions on how things would work, or do you want me to just give you a rundown of how it would work? A rundown. Okay, so from the start to the end process, what would happen is people would put forth their names, and you would put forth their names. We'd have America's Got Talent. We would figure out the cream of the crop. They would come out and just be like, I'm blah, 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 I'm the best. You choose 3 people, and then essentially we hire them. They come, the entire point of this podcast, you'll be heard, is to organize and have a list for the committees to essentially have like a transition from now to then. That way they can easily move to do their job, and they only have a minimal amount to do, because in these 4 years I've done all their work for them. So if delusions of grandeur, I'm pretty fucking epic. So basically, after that, you'll get them hired. And then essentially how they'll get fired is, like I explained earlier, is you just see something, you screenshot it. If in the final review they don't change it, they're gone. Because you'll see $100 when the average for us was 20. So you'll see that they're obviously in the hands of corporations. So therefore you'll screenshot it, 75% of the population agree with you, they're gone. That way it causes, they can't have a gun to their head, they can't be bribed, they can't be, there's no way to be malleable, because, bye. With everything transparent, you'll have all the choices and stuff.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask you questions and stuff about like your thoughts about things. I didn't want to be like harassed and stuff, so I don't really want to.
Just ignore them. Right. I'll figure out next time how to like. I don't understand how it's muted, but
I literally just like learning about people and what they think. I don't trying to.
Alright, there we go. There we go. Cool. So we'll just keep it like that so we can keep on topic.
Yeah.
Because I know it's making me uncomfortable too.
It's making me uncomfortable. I just, like I said, you always talk about stuff. I want to learn about what you think. I like learning about what people are about from all walks of life.
That's why I just explained a little bit, and we're not gonna.
I'm not being held hostage. I'm not here against my will. Just want to hear what people have to think.
Yes, because you care about your children's future.
I care about people in general. Right, I'm nice to everybody, and if that makes me a bad person, then so be it. So continue.
Yeah, you've always been awesome to me. Stephanie has throughout about 4 years. I've been delinquent quite often, and because of my rap career and stuff, she's been very generous and given me a lot of extenuating circumstances and so forth.
I'm like, I'm with a lot of people too. I think
very
a whole other podcast, Rent in Manchester is insane. And I try to be as fair as possible, and
you really are.
And because I think there's a lot of shitty
my
people
rents
out there.
Compared to others is
most of my tenants are like that, just because I want people to be able to have a life and not be. So, anyways, my 2 cents. Continue.
Thank you.
So I like to put myself.
With the committees, that's how the hiring and firing will work. And then, like I said, everything will be just blanket, country-based. And if you happen to have city or state stuff, then everything will. The entire point of the committees is to tailor it to every part of the country to however they want it. So if the entire country wants something and they want it, like I said, everything is about you. If you don't live in that area, be quiet. Mind your own business.
I think that was my point, I guess, about states versus national, basically. Like, should I be allowed to say what happens in California? I mean, I don't know if I really should.
If you're in New Hampshire, no.
Exactly.
Now, if you have like a house in Cali,
and
you have a house here,
yes.
Yeah, you have every right.
Yes.
But if it's something to do with somebody else, then it's not really you.
That actually kind of brings me to another point I had.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, cool. So, essentially, you'll have say. It'll be based upon wherever you live. If you live in that area, you will have say. If you don't live in that area, you won't have say. And because I just want everything to be fair, equal, and because if you live there even for a month of the year, or 0 of the year, if you happen to live there for a day, you should have that one day be the way you want to be. You're like, if you're in America, does it matter where in America you are? No, you have a right to vote and stuff. So you should have a right to vote if you have property. You have property, that's yours, that's your land. So you should have a say. That's what I'm about, is making sure you'll be heard.
Thank you for explaining that.
Yes. With the committees, the entire premise of them is to, as you go on, as we, like, say, I'll tell a personal story. In an Uber, I caught a guy who was he was like a therapist or something. I don't know what his title was, but he worked with kids. And essentially this kid was in a home where he didn't really have good food, enough money to eat good food. So he got really fat. So this guy, or overweight or whatever, and so essentially this guy was talking to me and he was like, I have no way, no program, no money, no anything to ensure that little kid can have a right to pursue happiness. So anything that you have like a problem with, whether it's from potholes to your mental health to anything that you could think, hey, this this country will be better if we do X, Y, and Z, and you have the best idea possible, put your thing forward, put your hat in the ring, you know, and you'll be able to have say. And that's the entire beauty of the committees, is that everyone in the world will work together to make America perfect as possible and make America #1 everywhere, you know, not just here. So with that, you know, that's the best way. And in the future, if we come up with a different way that's better than Switzerland or committees or whatever.
Does Switzerland do committees?
Yeah, that's what I. Okay. I'll tell you.
Can you explain about that? Because I don't know anything about that.
So I'll tell you a story and then I'll explain. Basically, I was sitting right here. I had my TV over here, and I was sitting here, and I was sitting in my chair, and I thought, how could we end every injustice known to man? Committees. Okay. So I thought about it, just thinking about it, and I had a guy in an Uber, because I explained what was going on, and exactly how I would run it. And we had an hour-long trip, so he heard pretty much everything I had to say. So he was like, hey, did you know that that's where I'm from? That's how we do it?
Oh, cool.
So how they do it is a little wonky. Okay. They have like a lottery where to be honest, you'll have to look this up. I don't know too much. The only research I did was the pros and the cons of it.
Is it kind of like a jury system? Like, no, you get.
I don't know their hiring process. I know all I know is it's random. Yeah. And it's absurd. So that's all I need to know. So I don't need to research because I just happened to have my system be like their system. Okay. So I want to, like I said, I want to start fresh. That's why I want to have people like you come in, talk about things like that, professionals that will understand and know stuff that we can discuss, because I don't know about it, because all I did was look up the pros and the cons of it, looked at the cons of it, and figured out how to fix the cons of it. Okay. That's all the research I did. Okay. So I can't tell you anything other than, if you want to look it up, just Google Switzerland direct democracy research.
Is that what it's called, a direct democracy?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I want to do. I want to remove our republic, democracy, whatever it is you want to call, and move to a direct democracy where committees are, and the government's small.
Can I ask about, like, Republican, Democrat, like...
Division, I love it, thank you. So basically, I don't love division, I love that she brought it up, just to clarify. Basically, I'm going to eradicate that, and I'm going to have We the People Party. Because all that does is have, like, I've had people in my car, what are you? Are you left or right? Yeah. And I say, I'm human. Okay. I'm not left, I'm not right, I'm not middle, I'm Joe. And whatever, the only thing that I have is compassion and logic. Compassion, logic. That's what I go off of. Not hubris, not ego, not anything. Compassion, what's most compassionate, and what is most logical.
Are there, I know there's third parties already, like, do you align yourself with one of them?
I'm independent.
Okay.
Yes. Because the reason is that the Democrats they lie through their teeth and they're like, oh, we're awesome, you're trash. Republicans, we're awesome, you're trash. So it's just like, it's like we never passed high school, and it's just like a stupid popularity contest of who lies the best. So instead of having a sandbox, if you will, of left and right and it would just be We the People. What is best for our children moving forward? What legacy do you want your children to have 1,000 years from now? That's the only question that you'll have, and to be logical and compassionate. Because there's a lot of people like the Vulcans, like, I don't know if you know Star Trek, any of you, but Vulcans are extremely, like, there's no emotion, it's just logic. And the problem with logic without having emotion is your science says that you're not wise. She is correct. I used to be a narcissist, okay? 100% malignant narcissist, not a, and so I went to counseling twice to fix myself, okay? So I want to make sure that when I went to therapy, my very first therapist taught me a little circle diagram. She said logic here, compassion here, or emotion or whatever. I'm saying compassion. And so basically they overlapped, and in the middle it said wise. Because that's what you need to be. You need to have logic, you need to have that emotion, but you need to have it together.
Okay.
And, in a nice, beautiful cohesion, not the division, not the whatever, because that's how you know our country is ran by criminals, because everything is about lying and about dividing, and you have to put yourself into a box. You have to box, you have to be gay, you have to be black, you have to be this, you have to be that. That's why I will never answer, am I left or right? I'm Joe. I'm human. Because I don't care about lies and games. I'm here as a blinder just to reality. Reality I want to see, and then anything delusional, I don't want to deal with. And that's delusional. Our two-party system is just a pit.
Especially so right now. I mean, obviously, I think everyone agrees that it's crazy out there with the two parties. It's a nice idea having logic and compassion overlap. It's one thing to say, one thing to do, though. So
that's what the middle of history is for.
That was a challenge. Yeah.
Yes. And that's why I'm independent, and that's why I just want to teach people that you have to critically think for yourself. Okay. So if I was a villain or whatever have you, why would I want to arm you with critical thinking? If I had something to hide, why would I want you to be smarter? So I just want a world where people aren't duped easily. And speaking of that, I want to deprogram people. So the entire point of the committees is to bring the world together, to bring us together, to transition from 3 years of showing you that I brought America from a zero to a hero in those 3 years, and then unite the world and dispel imaginary borders. That's what my goal is. Okay, so to do that, we have to be cohesive. We can't be at our throats. Like right now, I see on Newsweek all the time, civil war imminent, civil war, civil wars, Texas seceding, World War III, all sorts of crazy talk, right? So the thing is that's just propaganda. That's fear mongering, because, and it is true, because I have talked to people. People are very, I'm a Republican, I'm a lefty, whatever BS. Okay. So I want to make it so that there is no lefties, there is no righties, there's humans. And the only way to do that is to stop the division. And how I'm going to do that is on my very first day, we're going to have a discussion about this, right? How to deprogram people, okay? There's a lot of people. Did you know that there's 19 million hoarders? 19 million people that don't have the mental capacity to keep their house clean anywhere near remotely possible. So they are responsible for 19 million, which is 200 million, which is 10% of the population is Delulu. So stuff like that, I'm going to make sure that every single, Naruto, right? Haha, the two things. We got sidetracked. But with the Naruto thing, it taught me that the children are the kings, and the other thing is that you should never leave a single person behind. Okay? That's why, I'm so, intense, because we have kids in cages, we have, I could literally be here all day, but we only have 3 hours for this, so we only have 2 more hours, so I don't have time to discuss all that stuff, but I want to go door to door, not me, I want to have professionals go door to door to essentially talk with all of these people and to make sure that America can be sane again. and that every single person is not left behind, and every single person basically has their mental capacity, has their ability to cook food for themselves, has the ability to pursue their happiness, what they want to do in life. And that's the only thing, that's the only goal I have, is to make it so that you have a beautiful life where you don't have to have Monopoly Slavery Edition. You can have, you know, a regular, like, the beauty of me is I want to make a world that you've never even fathomed, okay? So what I mean by that, do you mind if I talk a little bit about Endgame instead of committees? Because I wanted both of them to be talked about today.
Sure. What's Endgame?
My world domination plans, if you will. Think of like Stewie, not Hitler. Okay, so calm down.
Those are your goals, like what you want to.
Yeah, what I want, my end game, what my intentions are.
Okay.
So essentially, what I want to do is I already have my 7-year plan. You know, vaguely put out. I don't have it like detailed or whatever, but I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
So what I want to do is essentially use these 4 years to have the committees caught up to date as best as we can. If I have to do podcasts, if I could right now, if I had 5 different people, plenty of money, I would do 5 podcasts a day, because we have like so many injustices to talk about that it's like, it's crazy. I'm gonna have thousands of people here. Okay, so eventually we're gonna
like you're just thinking like a town hall type thing?
well, it's gonna be like this,
like we're podcast town hall.
Oh, I think you just have to move over a little bit. Because, yeah. I think it's me that's way too over, so here you go. Without having to. Come on, mate. Ugh. Meow. Alright. It's like not wanting to. Alright, there you go. Here we go.
So, what are your goals?
So my end game is to use these 4 years to basically make the committees transferable and have their job nice and easy.
Okay.
And that's why I want to have professionals on the show and talk to like people like Neil deGrasse Tyson and people like the top people in their field and stuff.
Like a big think tank, basically?
Yeah, think tanks.
Okay.
And so, because the entire purpose of this is for us to discuss how things are going to work, the intricacies of it. So, everything, before you even vote me in, you'll know exactly what kind of America you're stepping into. So,
like what politicians do now when they campaign, they're just basically doing town halls or meeting people, getting people
and just answering questions, and it's just all a lie. They don't actually have any. Like, if I were to go to a debate, I could literally walk away like Heath Ledger, IRP, like the explosion, you know, from the hospital. I could just say one question, walk out, and I'd win. I wouldn't have to say a single word after. Is, what's your plan? I am telling you what my plan is. So therefore, oh, I need to be listening. Sorry.
I feel like a lot of politicians do that. They tell you their plan. Like, I mean, like you go to town hall, you can ask questions. Especially here in New Hampshire, they come here all the time because we're a primary, state. How do you think that's different then?
Because it's not in my hands. I can't just lie to you.
Okay.
Because the committees are gonna run everything. I'm not gonna have any say in this.
So your committees get rid of basically like our congressional system. Is that your internet? Is that what that is? I don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
Huh.
Alright, there we go. The committees will be in control.
Okay.
I won't have any say. So what doesn't matter. I can't blow smoke up your ass because I have no say in this. It's going to be the committees. Like, that's why I said everything I say is going to be like spaghetti against the wall. It's not. It's just going to see if it sticks.
We're having like if the United States is going to be like basically you're saying a
direct democracy.
Yes, citizens run it. What's the point of view then? If you're not running anything,
because you still need a leader.
Okay.
You still need someone to be like a shepherd to guide.
So basically you're just the person they're implementing this plan. Is that kind of like what do you see yourself?
My goal is to like make a system where I don't have to be leader of the world. I If I could right now get up from this table and not have to ever do this, I would.
Okay.
I don't want this, okay? So my goal is to set up a system that is impervious to BS and retire.
Okay.
And
so you're like the one and done. After you're done, then like everything just runs, and there's no need for a person to come after you, basically.
Yes.
Is that your?
Because everything will be democratic. Everything will be votable on your phone or online or wherever. Or if you're old and you want to write it in,
yeah.
Or you want to call it up and we'll have people who will take notes.
What about like hacking that? Like it seems very technology based. What about like?
The best encryption possible.
Okay.
And like I said, Estonia, they have no issues.
Okay.
So if they can do it, why can't the greatest country do it?
I just see AI and I think of just like robots taking over, and I don't know.
That's the entire point of the national and worldwide town halls.
Okay.
Is to assuage your fears.
Okay.
That's what I'm about, is making it so that every fear of yours, from a fire sale to the icebergs melting and causing zombie viruses or whatever crazy shit that we don't know about, is talked about, is discussed as adults. So there is no me being ha world power secret police. Okay. That's not going to happen because I'm an autistic person. Okay, you can look it up yourself. It says that we're genuinely nice people. I have been raped, molested, kidnapped, police brutality 20 million times. I'm here today. I didn't murder anybody. I didn't do any crazy stuff. I took that suffering, that anger, and I transferred it to, I want to make a world where nobody has to go through that vile, like my life, I wouldn't wish on my enemy, okay? Like I go to work every day and I tell people, hey, I'm running for president for you. You have to donate $1